is the element of world with which God has written the universe. July 8, Maths 2.0 Day, is a celebration of blending of math and technology. The celebration signifies indispensable part of math in everyday applications of human life. This event recalls the great significance of math in almost all the sectors and fields of globe. For majority of us, math isn't the favorite subject, right? We keep staring at the long equations with our teachers pen down, as if we are watching a foreign movie without any subtitles. But what's the reason for it? It's just our approach and attitude towards math which makes the difference. Math is not a subject to be learned by heart. It's a subject which requires a deep level of understanding and relating things to the everyday life of human beings. We need to realize the fact that world runs in numbers and arithmetics. Have you ever stopped to think a world without numbers? How would have been it? How would have we expressed our years, our months, the price of commodity, the measure of rice we buy? It's quite unimaginable to live even a second without math. This signifies the great importance of math. Developing a passion, love, and craze for math is what we should be focusing on, because it's an indispensable factor of human existence. And that's what the day Maths 2.0 focuses on.
Today is Maths 2.0 Day. Pure mathematics is in its way the poetry of logical ideas. Stephen Hawking once said, "In my school, the brightest boys did maths and physics. The less bright did physics and chemistry, and the least bright did biology." I wanted to do maths and physics, but my father made me do chemistry because he thought there would be no job for mathematicians. Imagine the way the world used to be viewed. Maths as thought to be so important, but thought to be something that could not make a living yet. The rising tide of technology was considered a fad. Maths 2.0 Day reminds us that technology is here to stay. Now, let us hear the history of Maths 2.0 Day.
Maths 2.0 Day is a celebration of the blending of technology and mathematics. For a lot of us, math wasn't a favorite subject. We had spent the entire period staring at equations and wondering what of livid madmen desired these torture chambers on paper. Ultimately, however, we realize that math is utterly indispensable in our modern world. If you have ever wondered who uses math in their day-to-day careers, you aren't alone, and we have some answers for you.
Structural engineers turn architectural designs into reality. They use several areas of math to access how structures react to forces in their environments. For example, structural engineers consider how the vibrations created changes in the structure. When underground transportation, earth movements, walking, or vehicles all cause vibrations. Before any construction begins, structural engineers provide advisement. Even during construction, they incorporate new information into planning and risk assessment. Math really just keeps buildings standing.
Whenever you send an email or use your credit card, online secret information has to be exchanged between your computer and a web server. Mathematics can be used to encipher this information so that third parties cannot read and misuse it.
Many engineers involved in designing cars use mathematics. For example, the way air moves around the car at different speeds directly impacts how much fuel the car uses.
Navigation at its most basic form uses trigonometry to identify a location. Early forms of navigation included using a star charts, an instrument called a sextant, and an accurate clock. The sextant measures the distance between a specific constellation and the horizon. The measurements between constellations and the horizon change based on time of day and time of years. Sailors compare the sextant's measurements to their intended path. NASA still uses celestial navigation, though the technical sophistication has improved.
Data on CDs and DVDs is stored as a series of tiny hills and valleys engraved in the surface of the disc more than 10 times smaller than the width of a human hair. Scratches and dust on the surface of the disc can destroy the hills and valleys together with the information they encode. This should mean that a DVD or CD should play incorrectly or not at all. Mathematics can help solve this problem. Data stored on the disk is encoded using Reed-Solomon codes. These are designed in a way that even if the parts of the data is missing or incorrect, computers can make use the remaining data to find incorrect errors to fill the gap.
MRI scanners can create three-dimensional images of the human body by taking countless two-dimensional snapshots from different directions. The process of recovering the original three-dimensional model using this snapshot is called tomography, and it wouldn't work without advanced mathematics such as radial transforms. Mathematics is quite literally saving lives.
Imagine that any messages can be represented by a point in space. During transmission, say via phone, you might encounter noise leading to all points moving slightly. Before transmitting, you don't know how the points will move, leading to small spheres of uncertainty around every message point. To make a transmission as efficient as possible, you want to stack these spheres as closely as possible.
In order to find the most useful websites and display them at the top, Google represents all pages on internet in a gigantic matrix. The matrix knows about how the various websites are linked, and you can use linear algebraic probability and graph theory to find the most popular sites. Google uses mathematics for many other of its services: finding directions in map, spam detection in Gmail, voice recognition of analog text recognition when scanning books, compressing YouTube videos, detecting faces in images, or translating text.
Movie graphics put the math and art of digital images in motion. They rely on high-level mathematical concepts to stimulate familiar visual, auditory, and movement patterns. Maths touch everything from lighting to color to shape. It's also used in the storage and transmission of graphics. Movie graphics often incorporate vector spaces in 3 dimensions.
Other applications of math include predicting the weather, epidemic analysis, map of Earth, glacier melting, building bridges, digital music, breaking the enigma, computers, supply chains, neurology. And the list goes on. With or without realizing, we do use math on various occasions every day.
In financial mathematics, traders can buy or sell stocks in a company, commodities like oil or gold or derivatives, which are virtual goods whose price are derived from the change of other things. For example, you can buy an option which would allow you to sell or buy stock at a particular price at some point of time in future if you still want it at that time.
To determine any location on Earth, satellite navigation systems like GPS use signals from satellites which provide extremely accurate times. By finding their delay, a computer can calculate how far away the satellites are. If you know the distance from at least 3 different satellites and the position of these satellites, you can find the unique and exact position of the receiver on Earth.
We can celebrate Math 2.0 Day
by encouraging people around you to know the significance of learning math. On this day, you can solve fun mathematical problems with your family and friends. Companies and universities will conduct many events, so you can attend one of those events to know more about the day. This day is also observed in schools and communities. Spread your knowledge of math and technology to others on social media. Encourage and teach people to use math in practical life. Be grateful for math as we have to deal with it in every minute of our life.
Math 2.0 Day is a celebration of the blending of mathematics and technology. For a lot of us, math isn't a favorite subject ultimately. However, we realize that math is utterly indispensable in our modern world. There are unlimited applications of math. We, the +1 science students, are going to demonstrate how math is related to our daily life in a simple way.
Messages and calls are end-to-end encrypted. No one outside of the state, not even WhatsApp, can read or listen to them.
Whenever you send a message online, secret information has to be exchanged between your computer and a web server. Mathematics can be used to encipher this information so that third parties can't read and misuse it. Thank you.
Related to math in many ways. It uses some important rules such as budgeting, measuring, temperature, time, conversions, fractions and geometry. If you want to make more than one batch, you need bigger quantities of every ingredient. Multiply the quantities with the number of batches. Knowledge of fractions is also useful if you want to make smaller batch than the recipe.
Maths is essential for the production of games. Maths is involved in each aspect of game development and art. Maya is a maths program which is used to plot out the vertices and normals in mathematical form, while an artist uses this tool to create stunning 3D graphics.
Installation of rack, cupboard or taking the length of a door require a lot of mathematical concepts and calculations. Planning an interior based on area and volume calculation are also important. All such concepts forms an important parts of maths.
By these 4 examples, we can see that there are various ways to use mathematics in our daily life. Therefore, it becomes necessary to have basic knowledge of math subjects so that one can easily use it to perform works with ease. Thank you.